Guys, in-home recall. Now, when we were kids, we learned that we must learn to behave first at home. And when we get outside, my mama used to say, now don't act your color. I said, what does that mean? She said, like you be acting at home. Now I know she meant I was acting like an asshole. So, recall's super important. One of the safest places to master recall and practice it is in your home. Now, I don't know how many rooms you have, how much space you have, you're in an apartment, whatever's going on. It's a beautiful thing to have a distraction. So in this case, we'll start step one. Does Ego know his name? Ego. I got his attention. Me saying his name does not mean come to me. It's just like, alert, hey buddy, popped up, means he knows I need his attention for something. And he goes right back down. Because that dog is smart. And unless you got something for him and you ask him to do something, he ain't moving. So next thing I do, now he'll probably follow me. But I'm gonna go to the back room. Let's take a walk back here. Now I'm in the back room back here, and he's up the hallway. He's still over there. Still didn't come. Good boy. Now, that's one way, and that's not necessarily a verbal recall. Stan, go ahead and call him. What up, Ego, come here. Ego, here. Good boy. And as your dog gets smarter, you turn around and up the commands. And that right there starts teaching him patience. Let's go back up here. Stan, if you don't mind, walk them through your process and how you would work recall inside of a home.
Just like he did. You want to make sure the dog is coming back to you, because a recall only means the dog returns to you. There's going to be different types of recalls. You can call them to a heel, you can call them to a tuck, front. But what Trev did, we would call a casual recall. All the dog had to do was come in his vicinity. So literally, if you're going to be feeding your dog, have him in another room, have somebody holding him, call him when he gets there, give him a piece of meat, give him his meal, give him whatever you have for him, letting him know that whenever you get to him, or when they get to you, there's something for them. The most important thing you can think about.
There you go. Now, and safety is one of the most important things for your animals. Just like a kid, you get outside, you want to take off and go see things. Your parents say, boy, give me your hand, or they basically lock you down per se. In this case, my dogs in this particular breed, and one of the ones that Stan has, they're curious animals. And they really never stop being curious. So in this case, you turn around and you say, well, what happens if I get out or open up the door? You open up the door, your dog should not run out of the house. It should not run out of the house, because they should be very clear on the perimeters, and just clear line of communication. Again, because you call your dog's name does not mean that it should come to you. It's just like if your mom said, Trevor, you're like, what? And then she gonna give an order.
Hey, but you can make the dog's name a recall.
There you go.
But in my personal opinion, you shouldn't, because just because you're talking to the dog doesn't mean you necessarily want them to come to you. You may make sure that they're staying where they need to be. You just want to make sure that the dog understands that you are talking to them, because if I say, hey, hold this, and nobody knows who I'm holding, but if I said, hey, Trev, hold this, now he's going to know I'm asking him to hold this.
Imagine 5 people reach out to him, oh, I got it. It's always awkward. Look, oh, I got it. Well, you see, these files is atrocious, man. I know y'all see him doing figure eights in this bitch.
Clear communication is going to be the most important thing with your dog. So if you only want them to pay attention when you say their name, mark that behavior. And that means when Ego looked at him, Trevor smiled. And that's all Ego needed to realize he was doing the right thing. If you have to do a little bit more with your dog, if you're using a clicker, if you're using a yes, good boy, whatever it is, let your dog know they are doing the right thing. We're very, very, very quick to correct the dog when they're messing up, but we're never telling our dogs when they're doing the right thing that we want them to.
There you go, people. And remember, patience is the name of the game. Ego's now on his 3rd year. He's alive and so far relatively well. And so he can function outside the house, or outside of the cage per se. And this is what I was talking about 3 years ago. That 2 years of work, that 2 years of patience, that 2 years of building a bond, that 2 years going into your 3rd year of staying consistent and then walking through and tightening up. Him and I, we have a clear line of communication for the most part. And it's easier to tighten up because I know he cares about me. So if I go to the room and he'll normally follow. When Stan and Jamarcus here, he'll sit out in the middle of the house. It's crazy watching his behaviors as he gets into his comfort zone.
Yeah, because he sees us, he's like, hey, I know you fun, but we have fun with them too, so let me stay in the middle, because whoever's going to have the most fun, that's who we're interacting with. And that's one thing that you want to be the most interactive, the most fun person in your dog's life. If you are that, distractions are not going to matter, and they're going to understand that you have more value than anything else that's going on.
There you go, people. Now, recall again in the home, it's that simple. Go to different rooms, definitely up the value in terms of treats. I'll continue to work these things. And it's not a one-time thing. You don't do it, hey, today, he did good. No, I've got to, like even he's right now, 7 days of outs, on a calendar. 7 days straight, I'll make sure, probably when I get back, that I work on Eco's out every day. He'll be coming out, biting stuff. He'll only bite on anything when I'm holding it, and we work on his out and sits and downs. It's going to be 7 days of downs. When he eats, down. When he plays up, down, down, down. It's practicing those habits over here. Saying the dog's name does not mean the dog's gonna listen. Giving it a command don't mean it's gonna listen. Practice makes perfect.
You want to make it a conditioned response. Whenever the dog hears these things, they're already reacting to the word before their body even registers what's going on. It's just like Steph Curry. He can shoot with his eyes closed because he shot thousands and thousands of shots. So he can shoot, oh, I know that one's going in. I'm about to get back on defense. And that's the level that we want our dogs to be at. Because if that dog busts out of that front door and you say here, you don't want him thinking about going and chasing the squirrel or going across the street to the neighbor. You want him to go skirt and already be coming back and be like, dang, I could have went over there, but I know I'm supposed to go this way.
Yeah, and mind you, and Stan can attest to this, he might tap on this one too. Be mindful of what kind of dog you have too, because unfortunately there are dogs with such high prey drives that you can't get them to do nothing when they like lock in. You got to keep them on a leash. You got to be smart enough to know, like, yo, if my dog sees a rabbit or a squirrel, he didn't went somewhere else. Mm-hmm. He didn't went somewhere else.
Facts. And what you want to do in those scenarios is you have to set your dog up in those situations where you do have a retractable leash or a long line or a leash on them, so they can mess up. You correct them for messing up in those situations, and they learn the proper way to do it. And like you said, you always have to remember, you are dealing with a living, breathing, thinking animal. And if one day they want to flip you a bird, they just might. And especially if you have not shown that dog exactly what you want from them, they will take advantage of that. Think about it. When your mama gave you a 10 p.m. curfew, and you showed up at 10:15 and nothing happened, what'd you do the next time? You probably stayed out a little later. And if nothing happened, what'd you do the next time? Even later. But
I know who mama they got.
Exactly. I came home late one time, and I think I was like 2 minutes late. I couldn't go out. I didn't have my car no more. I didn't have my phone. So you know what happened the next time? I think I was home an hour early because there was nothing even I enjoyed staying out for that extra 5 minutes. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna get home because I want to keep my car, I want to keep my PlayStation, I want to keep my freedom. And it's the same thing with these dogs. If we're showing them that there's consequences for them not paying attention, and there's positive things that they get when they do pay attention, the dog is going to be more likely to do the right thing in those situations. But it takes you showing them this doesn't work, this does.
There you go, people, and as always, take care of your dogs. We comment below. We're working on a small training series, just small little things. We're not going to overdo it. This is like lifestyle stuff. You literally see me, and he's laying right next to me. And if we went outside right now, and I threw something in the water, he would jump in the water to get the rope, pillow, or anything. He can go from 0 to 100 real quick. But the beauty about definitely him is he also can come on down and relax. And that's what I enjoy most about him, his mother, etc. The other ones that you hear them, they're too amped up still. Too amped up. But until next time, if you got other training things you want to learn about, please feel free to comment. Go make sure you follow Better Best Dog and Iron Shark K9 on all platforms. Appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, people.
Take care of your dog.